I want to, right off the top, deal with something a little bit painful in my heart. And that is, I thought we dealt with this yesterday, but Lance Wallnau has come out with another statement that he's written. And I'm going to read this to you. It's on a share here. So what he's saying is, to be clear, I rebuked those who pushed the family tragedy for clicks on social media. And then I took on the braying Wolfpacks that turned so quickly on a woman. And here he's speaking of Joni, who endured the death of a husband, the loss of a son and a daughter, while her grandchild suffered molestation. You can accuse Joni of error or being deceived, but you can also humanize her agony. Our people can act like vipers. They demonize her and call even now for the death of a ministry that reached millions, stood with Trump, exposed COVID, and spoke truth. This is a tragedy, not a call for the lynching of people who till recently were our friends. All right. Well, I think the best way to start, because I think that Mr. Wallnau maybe hasn't had time to go over all of the facts of this because this presentation is not correct. So to start with, Dan Cameron, maybe who might be considered one of the braying wolves, has put a little video together that sort of summarized, you know, those hour-and-a-half videos that where Joni Lamb and Jimmy Evans spiritually oppressed and abused Jonathan. He was able to bring that down to just a couple minutes. Take a listen.
You submit rebellion to submission.
You should submit.
Submit or leave.
Submit. Joni has got to have the ability to lead this ministry knowing that everybody under is submitted. Now, you submit.
You submit.
You submit. Submission means she's the voice of God to you. What she says is God in Daystar. This is the voice of God in Daystar.
You know,
wait a minute, Jonathan.
I have a kind of...
She's the voice of God in Daystar.
No.
She is God's voice to you here on this property and related to Daystar Network. She is God's voice. You submit to her with a right spirit. You submit. You have to submit. You submit or you leave. She's God's voice to you related to Daystar.
Submit and read it.
What Susie needs right now is the encouragement to submit. Submit or leave.
You'll either submit or you'll leave.
The simple answer is, we're sorry, and we submit, and we won't be any more problem. You submit.
And you submit to my authority or you don't.
You're not getting back on the set until she knows that you're submitted. It's a matter of her knowing today that you're submitted to her and that you trust her and you're willing to do what she says. If you can't submit today, it is a spirit. Either you submit or you don't.
Tell me now, you either submit or you don't. You either submit or you don't. You give me an answer now. You either submitted to me or you're not. Are you going to submit and respect my authority? You will leave if you don't submit to me. You'll submit to me. You'll submit to my authority. That's all. I don't want to hear anything else. Yes, Mom, I'll submit to you.
Whatever she says moving forward is God.
I just need to know you're submitted and that's it. That you're submitted to my leadership. If you're asked to read a nice comment about Doug, that you're submitted to that.
When you walk in this door, you have to submit to her.
All I want to hear is that you're submitted to me. That's it. So either you trust me and you submit or you don't. When you tell me you submit, I've submitted to you, Mom, then I'm fine.
I'm saying she's been submitted through the whole process. She's been submitted to me and other people. Her and Doug were completely submitted to me. You haven't been. And that's why we're in this room right now.
No.
If God came to you right now, and he is, and saying you made a mistake, would you correct it? And that's exactly what's happening in this
Of course,
room.
without question.
Well, but you're not.
No, but God didn't appear. He didn't speak that to me.
God has spoke to you.
Yeah, he has
He spoke to you through me. He spoke to you through Jimmy.
You're submitted or you're not.
So that what you heard right there is a part of the reason that we're all here, because we're appalled and sickened by what Joni Lamb did to her son. And we won't be quiet about it. And when you say, to be clear, I rebuked those who pushed the family tragedy for clicks on social media. You rebuked those who pushed the family tragedy for clicks. So that's quite an assumption. that we decided that the cover up of a 5-year-old's essay is us pushing a family tragedy for clicks. That's an interesting way to look at all of this. And what's so shocking is you mention a molestation later, but you haven't done one thing to ensure that justice is being done for Jonathan Lamb. Did you watch him grow up too? Have you known the family for quite a while? No, he doesn't have all the money or the power. Joni has that, all of it. So in spite of the fact that she's abused Jonathan and Susie, she's denied the molestation that you actually refer to. She's denied that the pedophile, Pete, allegedly has it had anything to do with this, in spite of her other daughter, Rebecca, and JW writing an extensive letter on how Pete is not a safe person, acts weird around kids. And so this family tragedy is actually a symptom of what is going on in our society, and we're sick of it. As a mother, as grandmothers, grandfathers, moms and dads across the nation looking in on this, this has become the reason that we are fighting